Alright, so I just got up. I probably look like shit, but right now I don't care. So, obviously, some of you probably heard what happened with a game called Slay the Spire 2, and how a certain individual, Anita Sarkeesian, was credited for helping either develop or consult the game, something like that. Now, I've had a lot of time, because I was a teenager when Gamergate happened. I've had a lot of time to reflect back on, um, everything that happened. Uh, a lot of it was built on misinformation, from what I can tell. Uh, but I'm not going to get into all that because, I'm not here right now to talk about the whole ethics and journalism thing more broadly. I just want to focus on Anita specifically because out of, out of everyone in the feminist movement, that, that was involved in that whole fiasco, she has the spottiest track record. And what I mean by that is that when she started her video series, critiquing games, talking about how a lot of them, you know, uh, what's the word? How a lot of them propagated sexism, right? Like how a lot of these games propagated sexism against women. Now, there are so many examples I can point to, even in old school games, of strong, independent, powerful women, you know, who would have been just fine on their own without any of the other characters, especially, if you max them out and make the character a beast. But there were so many good examples of strong women in these games already, like long before people like Anita got involved with this. I can name several just right off the top of my head. Pepita Rossetti from Star Ocean. She was like a gymnast martial arts master. Um, Sophia, who was also in Star Ocean 3, she was a symbology user. Let's see who else. Um, like there were multiple women in Star Ocean alone. Uh, but other games, I believe Earthbound had a female character you could play as in it as well. Let's see. I mean, the Sailor Moon RPG on SNES, the one that got a fan translation over here. Uh, I mean, just there are so many examples I can point to. Like some guy yesterday is claiming that they were claiming that gamers hate all female characters who don't look like bimbos. Those were his exact words. And my characters, the ones that I personally design, they are conventionally attractive, but most of the clothing they wear is like hoodies and t-shirts, jeans, lots of stuff that's associated with the alternative gothic and metal styles. How is that a bimbo? Like seriously, like wearing the fucking hair over the eyes and shit. Like they're meant to look imposing because in the context of their stories, they are. I just I'm sick of people lying and gaslighting, you know, older fans like me who have been with the medium for a really long time. We know, you know, we know what kind of characters and what kind of stories these games have been telling. And when it comes to Anita, not only did she lie about being a gamer herself, she actually stole money that was intended to go towards her video series. She stole that, and the money just disappeared. Like, people throw around the word grifter these days, but that's exactly what she did. She stole money. It's and and everybody lies about that and says she did. They say that she either didn't say and do those things, or they try to downplay it. But the fact of the matter is, this is documented. This is stuff people know. So to just sit there and try to lie to us and lie to our faces about it is dishonest. It's just dishonesty. Anyway, I guess that's really all I have to say about it. Anita is not a trustworthy source, of information for the content that's actually in these games. Now, of course, you can argue that in some cases there were examples of sexism, and even I would agree to an extent because, some of the male characters could be pretty perverted at times, but you also have to factor into account that the rules of fiction dictate that any long-term lasting damage, can be undone, within the context of a fantasy world. Like the same rules of human psychology don't apply. You know, I mean, I don't know. A lot of it was just old tropes that maybe people feel like didn't age well, but at the same time, you got to look at it from the perspective of it being a fictional, environment where these things are sandboxed and contained. To say that somebody is going to see like Yuri Hyuga, for example, in Shadow Hearts and think that his perverted behavior is something to copy. The only reason somebody would think that is because they're either mentally disturbed or, you know, or they're too young to really understand what's being seen. So those are the only two examples where that could really become an issue. But for most people, people like me who grew up on these kinds of games, and who were raised to understand the difference between fiction and reality, we know better than that. We know we're not supposed to do that kind of shit in real life. So, yeah, I mean, the evidence speaks for itself. I'm just stating the obvious here, stuff that's already been demonstrated. And I guess there's nothing more I can really say about it. I'm just tired of people lying to my face.